We are back with episode number 246. And we apologize. We were having some technical difficulties with StreamYard. So if you usually watch on Facebook, today you can't, sorry. You can watch on the Metal Roundtable YouTube, or you can watch on the No Life to Metal YouTube. Either one is streaming to you right now. But for whatever reason, we were having some issues with, and we're still trying to get it onto the 128 dB, right? Is that what it is? 128 dB?
128 dB rock, correct.
So, and we're still having issues with that, but eventually we'll get it all straightened out. We never said we were professionals.
No, this is a production value. And by the way,
so
Mr. King of Metal, don't be a puss. You can just be patient. That's all I'm going to say.
Rob will be back.
Yeah, Rob will be back when he's back. We're all busy, but I mean, I think that we have just as much star power as Rob.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I would say. You guys
have had some great guests on too. Like Kevin's been on a couple times recently, and he's always really good as well. So,
yeah.
But anyhow, what's up, everybody? Glad you all are watching. I guess we'll start getting into some shout outs. So I'll go last. You want to go first, John?
Well, I'm going to shout out Norwegian Cruise Lines and Lamb of God for putting on such a huge event. Man, the Headbangers Boat this year. I don't know about next year's Headbangers Boat, but this year's Headbangers Boat was unbelievable. And I don't know where in the world you could go and watch Lamb of God, Carcass, Napalm Death, Exodus, Corrosion of Conformity, Unearth, blah, blah, blah. You've seen the poster 3 times in 5 days. And be on a boat in the middle of nowhere. And then arrive on a tropical island in the Dominican and
hang out with the guys from the band.
And hang out with the guys in the band. It was freaking awesome. And in fact, one of the stages was on the back of the boat, and I guess that's aft, bow, aft, starboard, whatever. Anyway, and it was so windy, not only from the crosswind and the fact that the boat's going 30 miles per hour, and that's all the dirty air, just like in a car, that it blew some of the equipment off the stage when Unearth was performing that one night. So they ended up moving everything indoors. And so imagine seeing Carcass, Frozen Soul, and Napalm Death in a 100 cap room in the basement of a bar. I mean, it was unreal, man. And everybody was super professional. It was so cool, man. It was just, I can't say enough good things about it. So anyway, it was a once in a lifetime thing. Got to see some of our heavy metal heroes and hang out and catch a little sun and not be at work for almost.
I wonder what that's like for a band like Unearth, because they're pretty young. They're pretty young guys, aren't they?
No, they're approaching their 40s, young to mid 40s. Yeah, they've been around for 25 years.
Really?
So yeah, since 89, I think. And they killed it every time. And I know that Trevor, the lead singer, was just completely gassed the first night on the boat and didn't know if he was going to be able to perform. But that dude's a trooper. In fact, as Barney said, the first time I saw Napalm, they performed as a 3-piece without Shane Embry because he had a nasty case of dysentery. And I guess they had come through Mexico. Chris O'Toole, our friend from the show, who also plays bass in Unearth, is friends with them. And he was telling me that they all got sick in Mexico. But when they got to the boat, Shane was the most sick of the bunch, but then he later performed on the other 2 performances. So, but there wasn't without its quirks. It wasn't a perfect deal, but I mean, driving through a thunderstorm in a boat out on the ocean, it was just a lot of cool stuff, man. But the music wise, holy smokes! Even there was a band called Currents that I wasn't familiar with. That they were good. There was a band from here in Fort Worth that I had never heard of called Unity, Texas. two African American guys and two Latin guys, and they had a punishing. It was kind of like I don't know, Corn meets Malevolent Creation. I mean, with Snoop Dogg as their lead singer, it was crazy. It was a crazy sound, a crazy mix of music, but they had the crowd by the throat. It was really killer. But anyway, enough about me. What's going on in your guys' world?
I don't got too much. I do want to do one of those cruises though. What's the other band from Australia with AC/DC that Phil Rudd was in? Angry Anderson's band.
Oh, Rose Tattoo?
Yeah, Rose Tattoo. They just did one of their recent, maybe last year. They did one of the metal cruises, and I guess Angry Anderson got drunk and started trying to fight with people in the hallways and stuff of the boat. So
Well, it wouldn't surprise me. There was, honestly, for as much debauchery, it was drinking and debauchery that was going on. Everybody was pretty cool, and they only had one incident that I saw of anybody that got removed. I mean, the staff there was lenient but strict, if that makes any sense at all. No stage diving, of course, and there could have been some. They had this really old theater where I saw Carcass and Death Clock and Soulfly played there, and huge, maybe a 2,000 seat arena at the front of the boat. But it was really crazy to just sit there and to be going like this.
yeah,
While you're stationary in your seat, or while you're standing there, and then up on the 12th deck where the pool was, the outside thing. I mean, everybody was out there the first night, and Exodus absolutely just just killed it, man. It was they're so good. I don't know how anyone can just eliminate them from one of the top bands in the country, or maybe the world. They're just that good. But that's just one man's opinion, and that's why it's a beautiful thing that we have the volume knob goes both ways.
Exodus is another one of those bands. If you actually go through and listen to all of their records, they don't have a bad record.
No.
They're all good records.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just they were just late to the game because of the label, and that hurt them from day one.
Yeah. Well, they stole the show. Our friend Zetro, who's friends with Richie Harris, who's Rob's kind of compadre with the barbecue thing on the side there. I met with him briefly, and I'm going to bring him some barbecue sauce on Friday because they play here with Havoc.
Oh, nice.
At our local Granada theater, so that's going to be fun to reacquaint ourselves. But
are there going to be some Carcass John shirts at the Havoc show?
Oh yes, of course, and I wore those frequently. But and I gave out a bunch of metal round table shirts, and I gave out some Crypt shirts from 128 DB Rock, and those are great calling cards. So all you that are watching now, don't just check your mail here in the next couple of weeks, and you'll get your shirt. But anyway, fun times. If you can afford it and take the time off, I highly recommend it, and just unwind and put your work phone away. I didn't have any cell service. You could pay for Wi-Fi, but everyone said that the Wi-Fi was horrific, and for $100 a week, it was just not worth it. So,
how long was the cruise?
We boarded on a Monday morning early, and we got back late Friday, and then we spent a couple of days in Miami. It was fun, just chill completely. And the only one complaint that I have about it is they ran out of merch. No 2X shirts. No, I mean, and it was all gone, which I know is the goal when you're selling merch. Believe me, I've run merch tables for a bunch of bands, and you don't want to pack anything back into the trailer. You want it all gone.
I get that. I'm kind of getting sick of the shows, though. I would say more than half the shows I go to, I'll see them on like the third or fourth show of the run, and they're already out of like XX and XXX, and maybe have one or two of each shirt left. It's happening way too early in the tours, I think.
Yeah, even the Headbangers boat shirt, which you would think that they would have a bunch of, they were out of two sizes on the second day. and the line was 5 hours long the first couple of days. And then we just happened to jump in there one night when they were about to close, and there was nobody in there, and they were just out of everything. I did get a Carcass shirt because it was unique to the voyage, and then of course the Queen, it's easier to shop for her because she's looking at smalls and mediums, whatever. So she got the Carcass Love Boat shirt, which is hilarious, and a couple others. But yeah, that would be my only complaint, is that they did run out of merch fast. But they were very accommodating. You got little trinkets every day. You got Lamb of God socks and badges and stickers and soap and everything. I mean, it was just whatever. You got little bits and pieces of everything, and so it was well worth it. And the shirts, price wise, $35 to $40, which is pretty standard going rate.
Yep.
But
Well, I don't know about the Headbangers Cruise, but like most venues now, the band doesn't choose the shirt prices anymore. It's set by
yeah,
Ticketmaster, and if you notice, most places are $45 across the board now. And
yeah.
I've talked to friends in bands; they have nothing to do with it. That's straight Ticketmaster taking the money.
Well, and you almost have to sell them for that, because the venue,
Yep.
will
Takes their
sometimes
cut.
take up to 25%.
Well, yeah. Well, Ticketmaster sets all that though. They set what they get. They set what the venue gets, and they set what the band. That's why, like I said, when the last two times High on Fire have played here in Atlanta, they haven't had a merch table. They tell you when they post on their website, if you want merch, go to the band store.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well,
good for them.
yeah.
Well, hey, let me.
Anyway.
I'm gonna say a couple things before we get into the show, because we're already almost 15 minutes in. But we made a soft announcement this past week, but the press release goes out tonight for Iron Jaw. The new album is coming out in January on CD and vinyl on No Left to Metal Records. We printed up a bunch of these 8x10s. There's going to be 30 autographed copies, autographed by the whole band, and the first 30 people that order the vinyl get one of those for free. So that's happening, and like I said, the press release goes out tonight. So hopefully you'll see it in all the places that do press releases like that. As well, the No Life Till Metal Records Volume 4 comp is out for those who care and collect them. There's obviously 4 of them, and now I'm getting people who have bought like 2 and 3, and they're looking for 1. They're hard to find, but we don't have any left. We just sell through them. So we have 4 up now. They are $2. So you can get them on nolifetometalrecords.com. If you're interested, and who's on it? Anger is Art, Iron Jaw, a new song that has not been heard before, Primal, Sacred Reich, Avenger of Blood, Liar, After the Rage, Slaughterhouse, Vindicator, Absalon, Kill Devil Hill, Chris Manning, Patriarchs in Black, All for the King, and Motivic. That's who's on this comp.
It's a great comp.
Yeah. And then also, I thought I'd show this because this just came in. The Kill Devil Hill album is out on CD and vinyl.
That's Rex Brown, right?
This is Rex Brown's band, yep, from Pantera. And this particular album, I think the first album too has what the heck's the guy's name? There you go. Oh, it's right on the front there. Vinny Appice, Black Sabbath, Dio, whatever, Heaven and Hell, playing drums. But yeah, Rex Brown is the bass player, and it's oddly enough it's produced by Jeff Pilson. Of course, of Dokken and Dio fame. He played bass in Dio for quite a few years.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that's available as well. We only have 200 copies of this, and we just put it into distribution as well. So they ain't going to be around long if anybody cares. So nolifetometalrecords.com. So that's it. I just wanted to let people know about that. This is the first official announcement, although I leaked it kind of last week. But the official announcement goes out tonight, so I'm excited about it. So
I just saw Cursed, which is their new video on. They released that killer song.
Yep. The vocals, man, that dude's hitting some glass shattering highs in some of those songs.
Todd has really worked hard. He actually, talk about the endless cycle of recycling bands. He was the drummer in Creeper for years, and then left, and then I think it was an upgrade for everybody. I mean, Todd went to a situation where all he had to do was sing, and then Creeper got a different drummer, and he's phenomenal. Curtis is, and so it worked out for everybody. But yeah, Todd has really worked hard on his vocals. He's worked hard on his health, getting healthy, and getting ready for this. So yeah. If you
What's
like
up,
that,
Grego? We got Grego here. We got Damien Hair Metal. What's up, Damien Hair Metal? We got let's see who else on here. Got no baloney. Shut up, Fraser. We got Xander Harding checking in. Who else we got
Xander,
on here?
member of the family. Let's go, Xander.
We got Mike. Let's see, Suarez. If I got that right. Cheers. And of course, brother Lee. Noise Spectrum.
Hey, what's up, Lee?
Hey, Lee. Miss your videos, man. All right, let's get into the topic before we run out of time because we're already 15 minutes in. So I'm sure you guys pulled a bunch of vinyl, as did I. Compilation albums.
I actually pulled some tapes.
Cool. I didn't have time to pull tapes. I could have pulled a lot of CDs, but I started getting the vinyl and started having too many as it was. So I'll go first because I've got one right here, and it's one you're probably all going to expect from me because I'm a huge fan of these two bands. No.
Oh, California Metal.
California Jam 2. And I purposely didn't pull the Metal Massacres because we had a big old show about those not too long ago.
Yeah, that's right.
But I love this. I mean, I've always loved this album. It's a live compilation, obviously live from California Jam 2. Although for whatever odd reason, they shoved Rubicon on here, which was not part of the show, as I recall.
Yeah.
But I always loved the gatefold. Some great photos. I mean, this is a Canadian pressing, which is kind of cool because the U.S. pressing doesn't have this. The picture sleeve doesn't. That's Aerosmith on stage right there.
Oh no, it doesn't. It just has a white sleeve. It has the. Is it a Warner sleeve? I know it doesn't have.
No, they're just generic white sleeves in the U.S. pressing.
Yeah.
So a friend of mine, Bobby Gass, found a copy of this and sent it to me as a surprise because he just thought it was cool that it had an Aerosmith sleeve in it. But I thought it'd also show this too. It's also California Jam, but this is a promo of it.
That's cool.
This is actually released before the concert.
Yeah,
sent to all the different radio stations to play. Cool. So it's not the live versions; it's actually the studio versions of songs. So you got "Yank Me, Crank Me" by Nugent, "She's Not There" by Santana, "Kings and Queens" by Heart. And I wonder if that's. I have to listen to that again. I bet it's Aerosmith, "Kings and Queens." Because I don't even remember. I don't remember Queen ever having a song called Heart having a song called "Kings and Queens." Heart, Barracuda. What else is on here? Ted Nugent, Cat Scratch Fever, Frank Marino, Johnny B. Good, Dave Mason, We Just Disagree, Black Magic by Santana, Draw the Line by Aerosmith, and Kick It Out by Heart. Yeah, there's a typo on the one side. Kings and Queens should definitely be Aerosmith. But anyhow, there you go. I think it's one of the coolest 70s live comps ever. But that's if you happen to be a fan of bands like Santana and Heart and Ted Nugent and Aerosmith, Frank Marino. That's pretty much what's on here. Go ahead, John.
Okay. Well, I pulled some tapes too. So, and this one I actually found today in the 50-cent bin. You can see that. Let's see. Deeper Into the Vault. There you go. Deeper Into the Vault.
I've never seen that one. That's cool.
Yeah, this one's got. Oh, geez. My eyes are getting the best of me. Well, let's just say it's got Flotsam and Jetsam and Overkill, and it's all demo stuff. Testament, TT Quick. Anyway, kind of a cool thing, but for 50 cents, it's certainly worth it. And then here's another thing that I used to get on the weekly. I don't know if you've ever seen these, but these concrete corners. Now, let's see if we can do this here in the glare of the lights. Well, let's pull them out of the package and see if that helps. No. There we go. Concrete corners.
I've never seen those either.
These I used to go to the local record stores and they would have them, as you're walking out, you can just grab some. And they all had new tracks, everything from Monster Magnet to Metallica to Def Leppard and what have you. And I've got a trunk full of these things. I just pulled out 3 because I knew we were going to be probably hip deep in it before we even got started. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I have that deeper in the vault. I don't think it ever came out on vinyl, but I have the CD version of it. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's got TT Quick on there, which it's got I think it has SOD on it, if I'm not mistaken, a song that didn't make the actual first album.
yeah, I think some of these are actually demos. Let's see what it says. It says,
Some of them are
yeah,
live. Like I think there's a
Anthrax, Across the River. It's got Merciful Fate, Black Funeral, Venom, Acid Queen. It's got the Testament Burnt Offerings original from the demo with Steve Souza on vocals, which is kind of cool. Blitzkrieg, Lone Ranger, as you mentioned, TT Quick, your boys Raven, Take It Away, The Beast in This Life, MOD, If the Shoe Fits, and Exciter Death Revenge. So
no SOD on there.
no MOD.
That's interesting because the CD has SOD and MOD on it. So the SOD song is called "Ram It Up," which was a song they recorded for the first album but didn't make the cut.
Let's see.
And the Anthrax track should be "Across the River" and "Howling Furies" live in Texas.
Yes.
Yeah, but anyhow, I did. That's a good one. I forgot about that one.
Oh no, SOD, Ram It Up. Yes, it is.
Yeah, which it's a very, very crude song, but
yeah. Well, my old eyes just couldn't see it. But anyway, those are some. I mean, I've got a splattering of a little bit of everything here, but in fact, I'll show one more since we're talking about it. This is a rare bird, and you probably have never even seen it before. Thrash Metal Attack, a collection of 10 songs by 10 bands.
Oh, that's cool.
And listen to this lineup: Hostile Rage, Insecticide, Anedetic Leprosy, Cryonic, Soothsayer from Canada, Anchor Watt from Corpus Christi, Darkness from Germany, Severe Warning, and Battalion from Denmark, and our buddies in Gamacide with a demo track, Shock Treatment.
I only knew like 4 of those bands. That's pretty good.
Yeah, find that one. It's a super rare bird. In fact, this came out on New Renaissance, Scott's favorite label, and anyway,
that's Rob's favorite label.
Yeah, Rob's favorite label. But yeah, I think she still
Rob's band, whose name we're not allowed to ever echo ever again for some reason.
That's right. Because
was on that label. So
yeah. But anyway, kind of a cool thing, but super rare. If you can find it, great.
I think I actually pulled a couple of those. But go ahead, just Steve, you're up.
I'll start with some cassettes too. I didn't actually pull these; these were already sitting here because I was going to do a comp video like 4 months ago and forgot about it. So the comp tapes were huge for me, especially in the '80s when we were broke. You know, I could usually scrounge up $1.99 at Circle K and buy one of the K-Tel or here's the K-Tel right here, Metal Force. I could usually scrounge up and buy, one of these every couple weeks, and then go to the dollar store or whatever it was, the 5 and dime at the time, and buy 4 cassettes for $1 and copy my buddy's music. But so there's a couple. Like I said, the Metal Force. This is all the main bands from the time: Scorpions, Priest, Striper, Dio, Megadeth, Vinnie Vincent Invasion, Yngwie. What else is on here? Grim Reaper, and a couple more that I've had forever: Hot Metal Summer and Hot Metal Summer 2, which were a little bit later. Were these 90s or were these late 80s too, Scott?
Which one's those?
The Hot Metal Summers.
They were late 80s and going into the 90s.
Yeah, so I got 2 of those that I've had forever.
Who's on that? Is that the one with Deliverance and Tourniquet and all those?
Yeah. These are all the Christian bands. So you got Deliverance, Barren Cross, Shout, Blood Good, and they mixed it up. You usually had a couple of thrash, a couple of just regular metal, a couple of glam. You got Shout on there. Here's a modern one. This is maybe, I don't know, 8 years ago, 7 years ago. Excuse me. I've been sick all week. Heavy metal mixtape. This one's really good. It's really long. It's a modern cassette, but you got Night Demon, Riot 5, Blade Killer, Bat, Raven. I can't even see all the bands. There's like 20 bands on here. Satan's Hollow, Black Death Resurrected, Savage
That,
Master.
that's put out by the guy the guitarist for Night Demon, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the guy from Night Demon that put this out.
Because our buddy down in Angry Rob down in Houston area does just random comps for him. And in fact, I think the comp started back in the day when we were all trying to share music with our friends. And
Yep.
then the record label said, well, if it works for your buddies, then it should work for the rest of the world. And so that's how I seriously would hear certain bands that I'd never heard before on these comps, and I'd run out and buy the record, the whole record.
Well, I mean, and I'll get into that later. There's some of these comps that I know of the bands because of these comps. Like I said, I didn't have money to go out and buy a bunch of cassettes or records in the 80s. We were pretty broke, where I could afford a couple mixtapes here and there. And, you would see bands in the magazines. And if a friend happened to have a copy, I'd borrow it and dub it, stuff like that. So, and tape trading, that was all huge back then. I wish I still had some of my tape trading tapes from back in the day, because that's how I got into a lot of the Brazilian bands.
So I did find one of the new Renaissance comps in the stack I pulled. This one's called Speed Metal Hell.
And then stuck it aside. Yeah.
Savage Grace, Shining Blade, Battle Brat, Artillery, Medieval, Midnight Vice, Stiletto, Attila, At War, Executioner, and Whiplash.
Yeah.
On this one. So yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, but, I forgot about the Metal for Mothers.
Yeah.
The Metal History Channel, bringing it with both barrels.
Here's a couple that kind of go together. I pulled a bunch of ones that were like in a series, but you guys remember this one?
Yep.
Metal for Breakfast.
Yeah, wasn't there a second one too?
Yeah, this one was in all the magazines back in the day, man. I saw this thing all the time advertised. Never owned it until, I've had this one for a few years now, but back in the 80s, I couldn't afford stuff like that. So, out of a magazine. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because this is a Canadian comp. So you got quite a few Canadian bands on here. Anvil, Killer Dwarfs, Blotto, Lee Aaron. Those are the Canadian bands. Then you've also got, you got Forged in Fire, Ted Nugent, Merciful Fate, Saxon, Judas Priest, Quiet Riot, Y&T, and Ozzy Osbourne with Crazy Train. So that was that one. But then, here was the other one, Metal for Lunch.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And this one's got Aerosmith, Back in the Saddle, Quiet Riot, Judas Priest, Lee Aaron, Crocus, an oddball on here, Kim Mitchell. I wouldn't call that metal by any stretch of the imagination. You can get away with Aerosmith and Ted Nugent, but Kim Mitchell.
That's why I love these comps. Oh, there was almost always one or two bands that just completely didn't belong on there, but the label was trying to push. You know what I mean?
But they did a good job, because I loved the song. I ended up becoming a fan from that. But anyhow, Rush, Ted Nugent, Kick Axe, Dio, Y&T, and ends it all off with Evil Invaders by Razor. So they're fun comps. I like them. I used to play them quite a bit back in the day. Now they're more of a collector's thing. But yeah, so that's another set that I pulled. But you guys can go ahead and do another one if you want.
To your point, Scott, this is a German comp on gray vinyl, and it's Metal Attack, the cream of hard rock. So what is it? But there's Nugent, Motorhead, Nightwing, UFO, Black Sabbath, Priest, Budgie, Ian Gillan, Uriah Heep, Aerosmith. Anyway, Blue Oyster Cult, Twisted Sister. So is it metal or is it hard rock? But
how about this one? You guys remember this one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a K-Tel, wasn't it?
No, it was Warner Products, Warner Brothers. This was released in 1974. So they did, heavy metal wasn't quite defined yet. So there's a lot of bands on here that aren't heavy metal, but there's a lot of bands that were considered heavy metal, like back in the day, Black Sabbath, Alice Cooper, Jimi Hendrix, Deep Purple. See what else? Led Zeppelin. Ones actually would be close. Uriah Heep. But then there's a whole bunch of ones that are like, say what? Like let's see here, T-Rex, Jay Giles Band, although they were pretty heavy back then. Dr. John, Buffalo Springfield, Faces, The Doors with Touch Me. There's some heavy metal for you. The Allman Brothers, Delaney and Bonnie, Van Morrison, The Eagles,
Delaney
Outlaw
and
Man.
Bonnie.
Wow,
Really?
that's hella metal right there.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
no more. It's no less metal than the heavy metal original or soundtrack for the heavy
Yeah.
metal movie.
So you got
True.
Starship Trooper. Yes, with Starship Trooper on there. Golden Earring, Radar Love, Grateful Dead. That's some
Ooh,
really heavy metal right there.
heavy. That's heavy.
Foghat with What a Shame from their first album. Uriah Heep, War, and then Blues Image. But
Yep.
when I was a kid and you only had 10, 15, 20 albums in your collection, this is one of the ones that I had because I bought it at, I think, Sears. It was like in a clearance bin. It had a big old clip on the corner and everything. But man, I listened to that thing over and over again, and I just got obsessed with bands like Black Sabbath and Hendrix and Deep Purple. And of course, it's got to be Smoke on the Water, right?
Of
And it's
course.
the Live in Japan version. So which is probably the best version there is. But anyhow, sorry I didn't mean to butt in on you, John. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's all right. Well, I'm gonna stick close to home. Anybody seen anything like this? Dude, you rock. Dallas 1990.
You didn't say it right.
Dude.
You rock.
Yeah, this has got Sedition and Rigor Mortis. This has got a Rigor Mortis track that's Reverend Horton Heat. That's heavy. End Over End, Three for the Hill, Last Rites, Lithium Christmas, Shallow Rain, Loco Gringos, Course of Empire, if you're not familiar with them. But the reason why this one's important to me is because it was given to me by Bruce Corbett of Rigor Mortis. And it was one of the only comps they were ever on, believe it or not, because
So you got Rigor Mortis and Reverend Horton Heat on the same comp. Huh?
Yeah, can you believe that? This is something kind of cool. This is something that Joel Grind gave me. It's called Don't Burn the Witch. It's a 10-inch. So there's 4 bands on there. Minotaur from Germany, Toxic Holocaust, and Evil Angel. And I can't for the life of me. This other one has just a symbol. It's like the death metal version of Prince. But anyway, I think this is limited to like 50 copies or some ridiculous amount. And you remember the Doomsday News? The German noise comps?
Yep.
Yeah, these are some of my favorite. I just pulled one. There's like 3 or 4. But Scanner, Rage, Death Row, Corner, Tankard, Sabbat, Halloween, Vendetta, Celtic Frost, Creator, Voivod. Man, that's some serious. Now that's no.
I think I have one here.
Dead.
Hang on, I think I have one sitting right here too. Which one? That's a Noise?
That's a noise comp. Yeah, this is one of the first ones.
Here's one. How about
this
metal.
Yeah, that's the number. That's the second one. Then there's a third one I know for sure.
That's the one I see all the time. Is that one?
Yeah,
this one here.
The first one is hard to find.
This is got Corner, Watchtower, Midas Touch, Death Row, Mordred, Rage, Vendetta, and Mania.
That's a great comp.
It is a really good comp. It's one of the ones I pulled to show, but I've got so much here to show. I'm not gonna have time to show it on now.
Anybody seen this? Talk about your. You started off with a live comp. Well, this is Eastern Front live at Ruthie's Inn, which is a very famous Bay Area.
venue. Very famous.
And but there's DRI, Violence with an unreleased track, Gutter Slut, which nobody, unless you have the EP, you don't hear that much. Hex, Sentinel Beast, Raw Power from Italy, Law's Rocket, Furor, Tyrannicide, which features Tim Narducci of the Watchers, and he was also in Tyrannicide.
What's the name of that comp again?
Live at Ruthie's.
Live at Ruthie's, the Eastern Front.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, Morally Bankrupt, Forbidden Evil, with a demo version of March or a live version of March into Fire, Sacrilege, Anti-Mom, Ruffians. Are you familiar with Ruffians? That was Carl Albert's first band before he joined. Joined Vicious Rumors. Heathen, Death Angel, Chronic Plague, Legacy, which we know as later became Testament. Bloodbath, Messiah, Blind Illusion, which featured Tim Alexander and Les Claypool of Primus, and Aftermath. This thing is killer.
Tim Alexander just quit Primus. You see that?
Yeah, he sure did. Says he's lost his lost his lust for playing.
That
So
guy is one of the best drummers I've ever seen
he's
live.
so
He's
solid.
so
You're right. You're very right. Dude is solid as a rock. But if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. So
he's been doing it for 40 years. You know,
yeah,
they
give
don't need the
everybody
money
a
at this point. You know, so
yeah. I think he's probably done okay for himself. But
Are you gonna go? Do
anyway,
you have one to show, Steve?
yeah, I got a bunch here. I started with some
Go for it.
regional ones. This is one of the 80s comps. I can't remember when it originally came out. It just got reissued, though. This is Warfare Noise from Brazil. So you've got Chacal, Mutilator, Holocausto, and Sarcophago on here. All of the bands, not Sepultura, basically from that era. Really killer comp, though. It's 2 songs from each of them. This was originally a Cogamela, but Grey Haze, which is a label I wasn't familiar with, has been reissuing a lot of the Brazilian stuff. So they've done a couple of the Holocausto albums, a couple of the Sarcophagos, and a couple of the Mutilators that originals are like $150. You can get they're really good reissues for like $25. So definitely worth grabbing. This is one I picked up when I was in Brazil last year. This is Heavy Metal Attack. This was a Brazil only comp. Nothing special here. You got Iron Maiden, 2 Minutes of Midnight, Helix, Rock You, On Your Feet, Icon, I Want to Be Somebody from Wasp, Warning from Queensryche, and then Substitute from Great White. So a really weird comp, but a really weird mix, but still pretty cool. And then this one, I can't remember if this was Mexico or Spain. It's definitely Spanish. It's one of my all-time favorite comp album covers, but you've got Metal Pasado.
Yep, I pulled that one out and put it to the side.
Yeah.
That cover is ridiculously funny.
Oh, yeah. But you got Priest, Rock Goddess, Blue Oyster Cult, Heaven, Y&T, Ozzy, Queensryche, 220-volt Fastway, Kick-Axe, Trust, which you never see and accept. The funny thing is, it says Yesterday and Today, but the song is Mean Streak, so that they hadn't been Yesterday and Today for like 8 years at that point, you know?
Yeah.
But I love when comps do stuff like that.
Is that a Mexican pressing?
What's that?
Is that a Mexican pressing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Mexican.
Yeah, I've got one too, but it doesn't have that. The difference it's on that on the cover. Show it me again. Yeah, there's that little thing in the corner up under the M under metal.
Yeah, this
Mine
is a
doesn't
hype
have that.
sticker. I have a feeling they pulled this off the shrink and just stuck it to the cover.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
It's
mine doesn't
actually
have
a
that little hype
sticker,
sticker on
though.
it.
So that may be the original hype sticker. And I might have shown this one. I don't remember a couple weeks ago, but this is a local comp for Atlanta. It just came out. They only did like 50 or 100 of them. I can't remember exactly. But this is all local Atlanta metal bands from 82 to 99. And it's a really good mix. I mean, Messenger, Fort Knox, Necropolis, Sinister Angel. I'm not listing them all. There's like 25 bands on here. Hallows Eve, Rot, Demoncy, Darkened Sky. So it's a mix. There's some glam metal, some hard rock, some death metal, a little bit of everything on this comp. That's a really killer one. So I'll stop with those.
Cool. I got some live ones to show. And some of these were pretty popular back in the day, but I still love them. I like live albums, so you ever gonna remember this one?
I remember it very well.
Oh, look, yours is a little different than mine. Wonder what the difference is.
Looks like it's
look at
covers.
Yeah, the cover's slightly different.
Is yours a UK?
Yeah, NEMS on the NEMS label, London.
Yep, so is this one.
Interesting. Anyhow, it's got deep.
Pressing.
It's got live versions of Deep Purple, Razum and Naz from Nazareth, which is a great song. White Line Fever from Motorhead. Rocks Off from Def Leppard before they sucked. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that out loud?
You did.
All Night Long from Rainbow. Roll Over, Lay Down from Status Quo. Ain't No Love in the Heart of the City from White Snake. Lights Out in London, which should just be Lights Out, right? UFO. Gillan, Unchain Your Brain, super heavy song for them. And Black Sabbath live Paranoid.
No, it would be Lights Out because they changed the name of it, whatever city they were in. So when they were in Chicago, it was Lights Out Chicago, and they actually sang that,
Yeah. And then how about this one? There's a few different covers for this one, but Monsters of Rock.
Yeah, I have a different cover, but I have that one.
Yeah, there's several different covers. This one's got a nice collage on the back of live photos, which is kind of cool. But yeah, you got Rainbow doing Stargazer, which and All Night Long. You've got April Wine, I Like to Rock, Touch, Don't You Know What Love Is, Riot, Road Racing, freaking fantastic song. We almost recorded Road Racing in Ultimatum for our Lex Metalis CD. Backs to the Wall by Saxon, Another Piece of Meat, and Loving You Sunday Morning by the Scorpions. And then another one of those kind of deals.
You
Castle
sent me a
Donington.
copy of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that
So this
one
one's got I can't remember if is it the same one? I can't remember now. Might be the same concert because I've had them together forever. So it might be two different. I can't remember. I haven't even wasted my time looking to see if there's the same songs or not. But Heavy Metal Live in Germany, Volume 1.
Oh, I've never seen that one either.
Oh, that's cool.
It's got 2 tracks from each band live. It's got Storm Witch, Restless, Tyrant Pace, and Gravestone. There's pictures, live photos of the band on the back. So that was cool. One more live one. What I've shown this one before, but I love this album. Actually, I just played this one the other week or two ago.
That's on my want list on Discogs now.
Yeah. Of course, he's got Forbidden, 2 tracks from Forbidden, 2 tracks from Faith or Fear, 3 tracks from Faith or Fear, excuse me, 2 tracks from Death, 2 tracks from Dark Angel. Actually, it's got 3 because they do Perish in Flames and Darkness Descends. They kind of smash them together, so it's actually got 3 tracks. And then there's 2 tracks from Raven on that one. So there you go. I got more to show, but we can keep moving around the table if you want.
Okay. Speaking of Dark Angel, I just saw Gene Hoglan. Man, what an amazing guy and drummer.
Death Clock.
Yeah. So you said to grab some of our favorites, but anything speed metal is on my list. This is Speed Metal Hell. This is limited edition on red vinyl with 5 bonus tracks. But I mean, you have Postmortem, Outrage, Flotsam and Jetsam, Aggression, Death Thrash, Tempter, Anvil Bitch, Samhain, Mayhem. I don't think no, that's the Mayhem from Portland. At War, Whiplash, Executioner, Stiletto, Midnight Vice, Medieval, Artillery, Battle Brat, Shining Blade, Attila, and Savage Grace. So while we're on that, you have these
Speed Kills. That's a classic right there.
Speed Kills, yeah.
I think I have 3 of them.
Well, yes, correct. There are 3. Here's the second one. And here's the third one.
The third one came out later, didn't it?
Catalog of Destruction. And, not to be outdone, here's the fourth one. Speed Kills, but who's buying? And that's got Forbidden, Possessed, Dark Angel, Acid Rain, Nuclear Assault, Agony, Hex, Exodus, doing Overdose, Exodus, Parasite, Reanimator, Apocalypse, Blind Illusion, Acid Rain, Death, Holy Terror, and Bathory.
I think there's another one too called Speed.
I think there is. And I'm looking for it right now.
Oh, there it is, right there.
One?
Yeah.
Speed Kills again. And if you're super lucky, you get the one that has the 7-inch.
Yeah, I do. I have the one with the 7-inch.
The 7-inch in it, and this is all killer. This has got the 7-inch has Enforcer, Black Angel, Merciless Death, Genocide, Hatred, Insane, and then let's see, 2 tracks from Merciless Death, 2 tracks from Avenger of Blood, 2 tracks from Enforcer when they were a legit speed metal band. I don't know what they are right now, but they're still good. Don't get me wrong. But Toxic Holocaust with 2 tracks, Hatred with 2 tracks, and Warbringer with 2 tracks. I mean, this was the heavy artillery version, and that was in the heyday of the new wave of thrash, LA thrash metal.
Yeah, wasn't that like 2002 or 3 when that one came out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. It's like you got more?
I just had this Stars on Thrash on a Roadrunner.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Take it away.
So I got a couple more. I love the regional stuff. New York Metal 84. I've always loved this one. So you've got Warhead, Cities, Takashi, Virgin Steel, Teaser, Black Lace, Overkill, Death Slayer, and Frigid Bitch. You've got the Seattle area. This is actually all of Washington, but Metal Meltdown 3, This one you got Shock Treatment, Cypress, Tempt, Lethal Dose, Turmoil, Show and Tell, Coven, Gypsy Kiss, Prowess, Crisis, Dehumanizers, and Kill Decor. And then Baltimore, we've got 97 Underground, The Beast from the East, Volume 1. And on this one, you've got Wrathchild, later Wrathchild USA. I can't even read the second. Snidely Crunch, Mystic Force, Shockwave, Mona Lisa, ridiculous name, Chapels, Child's Play, and then Scarlet Angel. The cool thing about these, you get a lot of bands that never made it big. You know, the local bands that they're just trying to push regionally. And then one more. I really liked this first comp from this label, and I thought the second one was garbage. But this is the Scrap Metal one. This is the excavated heavy metal from the era of Excess. And this one had some really cool songs, including Girls Will Be Girls from Hades. This is how I found out that Hades had that single 6 years before they put out an album, because I had never heard of that single before. So this is the first place I saw that. But this one's got Rapid Tears, Air Raid, Restless, Don Kappa the Beast, Dead Silence, Hazardous Waste, Czar, and Real Steel. So for the second one, which I have too, they tried to get some new wave of British heavy metal stuff, but it was all like bottom tier B-side singles, and I just didn't think it was good at all. It was all killer bands that I loved, but it was like the worst songs from all of those bands.
These three I bought them and discovered so many new bands and became addicted to most of these bands, and still am most of them. But California Metal 1, which I have on CD and vinyl, and it featured Barren Cross, a new band at the time called Deliverance, with a song called Attack, Guardian, Hero, which is actually fantastic melodic, just heavy metal, just straightforward heavy metal back in the day. But that's actually one of Glenn Rogers' early bands, who ended up in, Hyrax and Heretic, and now he plays in Primal. And Hero just reformed. They're actually recording a new album together with Glenn Rogers playing guitar. Mastodon, who are definitely the stick out like a sore thumb on this album. Not that they're bad.
Kansas.
Yeah, that's John Elefante's band, so it was very melodic, AOR kind of stuff. And then 2 songs from Neon Cross. Almost all those bands ended up, Deliverance, Guardian, Mastodon, and Neon Cross. Every band on here ended up being signed and putting out stuff on other labels. The only band that didn't was Hero, who fell apart. And then a year later, California Metal Volume 2. And again, a bunch of bands on here that to Mastodon made it on here again because it was Regency Records, who I believe was John or Dino Elefante were part of that label. But you got Soldier on here, which is fantastic California LA band, kind of in the same vein as like YMT. Emerald, who is kind of like a cult favorite band now. I see their stuff all the time.
That Emerald
2 tracks on here.
10 out of 10.
Yep. Ransom is on here with Sin Killer. That was the LA band who was playing the strip with Lisa Faxam on vocals. She was a fantastic singer. Vision, who was actually they changed their name for this comp for some reason. It was actually what was the name of the band? I can't remember the name of they were before they changed their name. Anyhow, Judea, and then the one that really got me on this one was Recon with a song called "Light the Fire." Man, that song was like the first time I heard Queen of the Reich from Queensryche. It just blew me away. And "Light the Fire" is very much in that similar style to, that early Queensryche EP style. And then there finally, there was and I don't have this one on vinyl. I wish I did. It's on my want list. But the East Coast Metal, which came out, I believe, the same year as the California Metal 2 came out. But you got Believer on here with a demo track called The Chosen. They ended up getting signed, obviously. Rage of Angels got a song in here called Reason to Rock. They ended up getting signed as well, and they're kind of a cult underground favorite. The Lead, which is odd because it's not metal at all. They're totally punk, but good band nonetheless. And there's also Taker, Arsenal, and Apostle on here. So Yeah, I liked those comps a lot. I played them over and over and over again back in the day. So yeah, that's it. You're up
Okay.
again.
Well,
Although
before
we're
I totally melt down, I came off the boat with some sort of a respiratory thing. I guess when you're cooped up with 2,500 headbangers, the same AC system, I guess, whatever. But here's a couple of regional um, comps. This is one called "This Comp Kills Fascists." Fascists, Volume One, and it's got "Man Will Destroy Himself," "Total Effing Destruction," "Magruder Grind," "Brutal Truth," to name a few. "Kill the Client," "Insect Warfare," and "Weekend Nachos." One of my favorite name bands. With an, but anyway, that's obviously a grind comp, and not to be outdone. Uh, "Brutality in Seconds," and this is a saw blade. I believe that's a saw blade, but
cover.
"Brutality in Seconds," and it's got a ton of Houston and Hatred Surge, Doom Siren, PLF, Descent, Nibiru, Kill the Client again, Davidian Branch, Full Blown AIDS,
Davidian
Mammoth
Branch.
Grinder. It's just it's stupid sick. And then because I like the heavier stuff too. And then here's one of my favorites: Gulf Coast Massacre. Once again, Run Amok, Rage Against Time, Insect Warfare, The Pallbearers, Cruller, Pretty Little Flower, which is PLF, Knuckle Scraper, and so not to be outdone, because I know we're running out of time. Believe it or not, these are really great. Death by Salt, as in Salt Lake City, Utah, of all places. And I just broke out a couple of these. They come on, so they're super high quality too. But believe it or not, Salt Lake City has a killer music scene, and a lot of heavy music, a lot of punk. In
Yeah,
fact,
the punk scene there is killer.
they even made a movie about it, SLC Punk,
That's a great movie too.
and it is a good movie. But so some of these guys are kind of hiding from themselves, and but anyway, and
In
they're
this
cheap.
movie,
They're like $3 or $4.
That's a crappy one though, because none of the first one of those, it's the actual bands from the movie. That one, it's not the same bands that are in the documentary.
No.
It's really weird the way they did that one.
Anyway, so like usually what I do when I go to various cities is I look for comps.
Yeah, I love it.
And
I love it.
and I saw those ones for Salt Lake, and the guy at the heavy metal shop who's been, by the way, in Salt Lake City and going out of business since 1983, and he's still there going out of business peddling evil. But he always has those in there, and they're great. And Kevin, in fact, Rob interviewed Kevin. Gee whiz, years ago, I guess it's been a several years when we were just doing the laptop thing. But so yeah, that's what I do. I even went hunting for records on this last outing, but you had to get outside the safety zone to get into the downtown Dominican Republic areas, and we weren't willing to do that, and the weather was not great. But every time I go to any city, I always look for something that would give me an indication of what the music scene there is like, and the comp is the way to do it.
I'm gonna fly through a bunch of these are real common ones that you can find that are worth grabbing. The first is Hard Rock Thunderbolt, Thunderbolt Records. You got a little bit of new wave of British heavy metal, a little bit of hard rock. The one that's real cool on here that shocked me was it's called 24K Joy, and there's 2 songs off of it. So it's actually the guys from Band of Joy, the 2 guys, not the Led Zeppelin guys from the 70s, the blues rock band. Well, they released a Band of Joy in the early 80s. It was a hard rock. It's the same 2 guys. And then they released an album called 24 Karat Joy. And I just picked it up recently. It's a really killer record. You got Samson on here, Thunderstick. Another real common one. Most of these you can get for under $10. Killers 3.
Oh yeah,
Just a fantastic comp. Motorhead, Tank Girl, Skull, Hawkwind, Thor. A couple songs from each of them. Jaguar, Wendy O. Williams.
okay, I got that one sitting right here too.
Yeah. Megahertz. This is one of them where one of the bands just doesn't fit. You guys guess which one it is. So we got Fifth Angel, Sanctuary, Riot, and Slammin' Watusi's.
Wow. Let me think.
I mean, just 3 killer bands, killer albums, and then the Slammin' Watusi's.
Did you show the Brute Force a second ago? Did I hear you say Brute Force?
No, I got the Brute Force. I was about to show that one.
That's a great one.
Yeah, this one's great. But this one had a weird one on here too. Yeah, not the Mae West. The Colin Towns songs make no sense. You got all these killer new wave of British heavy metal bands. Diamond Head, Prowler, Fist, Sledgehammer, White Spirit, Crier, Raven, Quartz, Mae West. That one's pretty killer. Iron Brew, the Legacy GWR record sampler. Another weird one. You got Thunderhead, Motorhead, Uriah Heat, Winter's Rain, Death Wish, Fastway Girl School, Slug the Night Watchman, and then Hawkwind again. Kind of a weird mix there. Here's another real common one that you guys can find everywhere, and it's worth picking up. This one's fantastic. This was Metal Battle.
Oh, it's funny. I got that one sitting right here too.
Yeah.
One
is great.
Which is funny because who's on the cover?
Yep. A little bit of Mustaine.
James Hetfield, right?
Or Hetfield, yeah.
But guess who's not? Who's not on this comp?
This one's. You got Raven, Anvil, Battle Axe, Merciful Fate, Tank, Venom, Jaguar, Witchfind, Hellenbach, Satan, and Santers. This is the best thing Santers ever released. Don't buy the album. Buy this comp. And then Let Them Eat Rock. Do you guys remember this one? The Hit Parader comp. It's pretty good. Grim Reaper, Mass, Autograph, Shy, Judas Priest, Scorpions, Gary O, Nick Gilder, White Wolf, and Autograph. So a couple weird ones on there. And here's another kind of common one. You're going to pay a little more for this, but Total Destruction from Metal Blade. So this is they did the Metal Massacres where it was new and upcoming bands. These were their signed bands that they were trying to push, and these are fantastic as well if you can find the Total Destruction comps. Another Canadian one. What is this? Trapped Under Ice. This one's this is a new one. This one turned me on to a bunch of bands. Black Rat, Emblem, I'm a real big fan of. Freeways, Spell, Traveler. I've got a bunch of albums from all of those guys now. That one's fantastic. And this is one of my all-time favorites. This one is getting super pricey, but Welcome to Venice. You've got all the guys related to Suicidal. So you got Suicidal, Beowulf, Los Psychos, No Mercy, and Excel. When they were a good band. But that one's fantastic as well. So I got a few more. You want me to fly through them?
Go for it.
So there's 2 of these, and I highly recommend both of them. This is New Wave of British Heavy Metal at the BBC, the Friday Rock Show sessions. These are the best singles live on the BBC from all the best New Wave of British Heavy Metal bands. There's 2 of these. They're both 2 albums. That you can get them from Rockadrome. They're fantastic.
This is one of those 2. There's another one, the Metal Explosion. Do you have this one?
Is it? Yeah.
Well, this is from the BBC Friday Rock Show. Samson, Praying Mantis, Trespass, Taurus, More, Money, Gillen, and Angel Witch.
There's 4 of those, the Metal Explosions.
Yeah.
So this is the first 2 Metal Explosions in one, and then the next 2 is 3 and 4 in one. These are unofficial versions of those, but they sound killer. This is one of my favorite British heavy metals, Volume 1 and 2, Heavy Metal Heroes. I just pulled number 2 because I was listening to it the other day. But you've got some great singles from Lionheart, Shiva Palace, Mendez Prey, Overkill, the New Wave British Heavy Metal band, Twisted Ace, Witchfinder General, Persian Risk, No Quarter, No Faith. And then 2 more, and then that's everything I pulled. This is one that when Scott was here, I bought this thinking it looks like an old school comp. It's old school songs, but it was done for one of the Rocktobers a couple years ago, and I didn't know. But it's called Hard Rock Heretics, and it just looks like an 80s comp, but it was in 2018. Rhino did it, but Twisted Sister, D.O. Winger, DLR, Dawkin, Metal Church, Faster Pussycat, Lynch Mob, Bullet Boys, and Skid Row. And then one more, a new one. This is, again, just from a couple years ago. This one is really good. It's called British Steel, the rising force of British heavy metal.
Yeah, I've got one of those
The
too.
traditional metal bands.
That is
Amulet,
killer.
Aggressive, Perfector, Eliminator, Dungeon, Dark Forest, Toledo Steel, which I actually thought was from Toledo. I didn't know they were British. But Vol, Seven Sisters, Insurgency, and Witch Hazel, which is one of my favorite bands of the last few years. So,
Right on.
all right, I'm out of breath and out of comps.
I'm gonna jam real quick because same thing from the Megavolt.
Oh yeah, I got one of those too.
Yep.
I didn't pull it because I thought someone's gonna have it.
Yeah, it's mostly demos from different bands. You got Medieval Steel, Overkill, Exciter, TT Quick with a song called A Wing and a Prayer. I can't remember if that song was even on anything. I don't think it was. Raven, Take It Away, live. Imperious Rex, Blessed Death, SOD, again with Ram It Up. Anthrax with Panic. That's actually the demo that Joey Belladonna recorded when he was trying out for the band on there. And then an oddball on here, Blue Cheer with Boney Maroney, which is, I like that album from Blue Cheer, but there's always that one track, right? That's got to be that sticks out like a sore thumb. And that's the one. But I thought I'd show these two real quick because I love these comps. I discovered so many bands from them back in the day. Remember the U.S. metal comps?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I have one of them right here. I didn't.
There's 4. There you go.
2.
There's 3, 2,
yep,
and 1. And funny because 1 is the one I don't say I like it the least. It's just I don't remember much about this one. I guess I played it the least. And I'm looking at the names on here. It's like the only name I even remember is the Rods. But the other ones, there was tons of bands on here that I loved and still love to this day. Remember Hawaii? From Hawaii with
Marty Friedman.
Marty Friedman, yep.
Yeah,
That's
I just
on
talked
here.
about that. I just showed that record.
Yep. Wild Dogs, Vicious Rumors, TKO, Aggressor, which was a speed thrash band, Guilt. These are just the ones. I'm just naming off some of the ones that I actually know from here. Violation, another Wild Dog song, another Hawaii song on the next one, another Rod song on the next one. More Vicious Rumors, Manila Road, who was an underrated band in my opinion.
Yeah, I really love them too.
More Wild Dogs in this one. Exciter, Culprit, who always reminded me of Metal Church for some reason. Le Mans, The Rods, Michael Badia. How do you say his name? The dude
Michael
from Nitro.
But
Thank you. Vixen, with Marty Friedman on guitar. Vixen, Virgin Steel, and Failsafe. So anyhow, those are
the
just
Marty
some of the bands from that
Friedman
one.
Vixen is fantastic. If you can find the comps of that stuff, it's so good.
Yeah. So I got a bunch more, but I don't need to show them.
The new.
I like this one. I like this one for the cover. I have that one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, this is really good. This is up. Do you have this one, John?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mortification. Who else is on there?
This one? No, this is Hypocrisy, Afflicted, Resurrection, and Sinister.
Okay, so it's the volume 2 has Mortification on it.
Yeah, this is volume 1.
I think I have both of them. But anyhow, I always like the cover on this one.
That's cool.
This is a Metal Blade comp too.
Yeah, that looks like speed metal, all right.
Slayer, Evil Has No Boundaries, a specially remixed version for this album. Hollow's Eve, Metal Merchants, Hyrax, Lightning and Thunder, Voivod, War and Pain, Omen, Warning of Danger, Celtic Frost, Visual Aggressor, Destruction, Invincible Force, not invisible. Sodom with Blasphemer, Bloodlust with Tear It Up, and Cryptic Slaughter with Lowlife. So that's
I love
heavy
Cryptic Slaughter. I wish those guys were still doing stuff. They were so good.
Yeah, that's it. I've got more, but that's all I'm going to show for now. So I know we're over time. So we need to get going.
And we're past our hour.
Yeah, we started late, but so we're in an hour in, and I know you have another show to do too. So, all right. Well, anyhow, that was a whirlwind of records that we showed. Appreciate all the people that were watching, especially the ones who stuck around to the very end. So that's it for episode number 246 of our favorite compilation albums. We probably could have gone 2 hours on that one.
Lee, Scott showed it. Scott showed Metal for Breakfast earlier.
And Metal for lunch.
I showed Metal for Breakfast and Metal for lunch. Noise Spectrum Lee. Yep.
There's no Metal for dinner?
Not that I've ever
We
seen.
ought to petition for that one.
Right?
Yep.
All right. So that's it for episode number 246, our favorite compilation albums.
I survived.
Thank you all for watching. And as we always do at the very end, we will say, Metal will prevail. And this is where I leave you all hanging while I try and figure out how to get out of this thing like I usually do.